I've heard people being agitated from the original Arab Spring in Tahrir Square, hearing it called, a technological uprising, or the first cell phone, revolution. And they said essentially the same thing. The cell phone was a tool. It was extremely useful to get the information to people about where you were going to meet, where you were going to protest, what you needed, brought, et cetera, et cetera. But again, if nobody responded, so what? So what? And sometimes I fear that people do think that email and the World Wide Web are, a new tactic in activism, a new tactic in social change, a new tactic, in protecting human rights and advancing human rights, instead of recognizing they're a fantastic tool. However, if you don't strategize, if you don't press people, if you don't have a goal and know where you're going, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. One of the cool things about having a Peace Prize is you get to know some cool peace laureates. And I'm kind of close to the Dalai Lama. Why is that funny? Do I not seem like I could befriend the Dalai Lama? In fact, I said this to students that I met earlier. My sister bet me that I would never dare sing Hello, Dolly to him. And I was at a celebration of the Tibetan years in exile in Dharamsala with him, and I did sing Hello, Dolly. And some students asked me today, how did he respond? I said, he smiled. He heard Dolly, so he probably thought I was singing some song about, His Holiness the Dalai Lama instead of Hello, Dolly. But I could say to my sister, I did sing Hello, Dolly. I think when most people hear him speak, stand up, I can't see some of you. I may sit down again. When His Holiness speaks, he often speaks about compassion, which is a very important thing. Certainly, if you don't have compassion and empathy, it's easy to abuse the human rights of others because they're less than you. They're the other. So he talks about that a lot. But we were at a Nobel laureate event in Hiroshima a few years back. I think there were 9 of us. And Dalai Lama is sort of like a bad boy in church. Seriously, when you would go to church as a kid, and I'd sit with my sister, and all we wanted to do was giggle and talk. So we're sitting 9 laureates, and he and I are beside each other, and he keeps whispering in my ear. And I kept saying, Your Dalinness. No, I didn't. Your Holiness. You can't keep doing this, because we're up there laughing, and here we are where the atomic bomb was dropped. And he's telling me that scientists have decided that Buddhism isn't a real religion because there is no God in Buddhism. We each have the power to be the best we can be. So I'm thinking, oh God, is he going to go up there and talk about that when we're here in Hiroshima? Instead, he goes up and I'm sure you've all seen him, and he's in those brown shoes and the orange robe. And he looks at people and he says, I'm a Buddhist monk, as if it isn't obvious. I'm a Buddhist monk, and so I meditate. It is part of my tradition and my training, and I must meditate, and I want to meditate. But I do not want any of you here to believe for 1 second, he didn't quite say it that articulately, but to believe for 1 second that meditation will change the world. Meditation may make you serene, but meditation will not change the world. He then said the only thing that changes the world is action.